Thank you. Well, thank you for that introduction. And just before I start, I do want to acknowledge our previous speakers, both Shane and Shelley. Wow. I've heard many speakers in many different contexts, and you two tonight were second to none. So thank you very much for sharing. As Michaela said, I'm here in my capacity as Magic head coach. And first of all, I just want to thank you all for coming along tonight, for coming out on a very cold Wednesday night, hump night as it is. So I appreciate the fact that you're all here. I want to share with you my experience of diversity as head coach of Magic netball team. And I'll just start by posing a question to you all. Have you ever thought about diversity in a sporting environment? Great, I see some heads nodding. Perhaps you're sports people yourselves. Fantastic. Well, I do want to share with you the why and the how I embrace diversity in my team. Because I think if you get it right, diversity really is a powerful way to move forward and bring a team together. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the sports field or in the office, diversity in any form, in any environment, is very powerful, as I said. So, I want to start with introducing to you very quickly Magic 2018. I really hope the music's going to play. And it ain't, never mind. So Monica Faulkner is a 20-year-old young player. She grew up in Whakatane, and this is her second year in the Magic team. She's at Waikato University, and as you can see there, she's with her little half-brother Ryan. Sam Sinclair, fourth year management student, Hillary Scholar, current Silver Fern, and is really one of the up-and-coming players in our Magic team. I see her as being a future Silver Ferns captain. Hayley Saunders, 27 years old, come up from Gore, played down south for a number of years. It's her first year up in the Waikato, and she's really enjoying the change of scenery. It's valuable for us because she brings a whole lot of experience, having played over 90 games in the ANZ competition. The young woman on her left is Sydney Fraser. So you see her here. She's a former head girl from St Kitts College. She grew up overseas, has moved around a lot, but clearly an academic and a young leader of the future. She's our youngest in our team, 19 years old. Catherine Coffin grew up in Hamilton, went to Hamilton Girls High. She's a young mum, so first-time mum, and her daughter is just 6 months old. Fourth year in Magic, and will bring some real experience to the team as well. Hands on her hips up the back, that's Kelly Jury. She's a farm girl from the Taranaki. She is a Hillary Scholar as well, fourth year in Magic, and a current Silver Fern. The tall young woman in the middle is Kate Lloyd. She's 20 years old, a member of the winning New Zealand Youth World Youth Cup team. It's her first time away from home, and she's one of those quiet achievers. She's got a really dry sense of humour. I can see her being the clown of the team, so she'll definitely have a role to play. And she's a Lincoln student, a Lincoln scholar. Amorangi Malasala, another former head girl from St Kitts. She's 20 years old. She's studying law here at Waikato University. Grew up in Kawhia, but then family shifted up north, and she's got a younger brother who plays in the Warriors under-20 team. The young lady with the green strip-on goal shoot is Lenise Pogita. She's our South African import, born and raised in Pretoria. She's only 23, but she's had one hell of an international career. So she really brings a whole lot of experience and a different way of playing to our style of game. And the three most important things for her in her life are faith, family, and netball. Casey May Kopua, the icon of Magic and New Zealand netball, 32 years old, a young mum as well. Her wee baby will be 2, coming up 2 this year, so still playing terrific netball. She's a captain of our team, and just the experience and the way she behaves, the behaviours that she models, and the way she leads the team is just a one-off. Ariana Cable-Dixon grew up in Te Awamutu, went to Te Awamutu College and then St Peter's College, 23 years old, and she's living her dream. She's playing professional netball. I'll just quickly introduce you to our management group. Sandra Carter, she's a teacher at Mairoa Intermediate. She grew up in Opuriki. Clark McKenzie, he's our Irish physiotherapist, and a different cultural perspective. He's got a great sense of humour. Again, that's a really valuable asset to have in any team. So he's our team physio. Barry Jennings, our trainer, a Hamilton guy, born and bred. He's had a wealth of experience with all sorts of athletes. He currently works with Black Sticks members, with us, with other NZ representatives. Shannon O'Donnell, 24 years old from Rotorua. She is our team stats and person and analyst. She's a Hillary Scholar as well, and she just submitted her PhD in February. That's me on the right. On the left is Amy Jean Metcalf, currently teaching at St Peter's School. She's a former Magic captain, long-serving Magic captain, and a former captain of the New Zealand women's touch team that won world champs back in the day. So I just wanted to check out our team and just have a look at them to just see the breadth of diversity in the group. I mean, if we look at the age range from 19 to 32, some have kids, some have only just left home, some are students, some are PhDs, some are starting out. So they bring a range of life experience, of life stage experience. We've got different ethnicities, different cultural backgrounds, different beliefs and values, but it's these differences that really add to the richness of our team. We have different strengths and weaknesses, different strengths and skill sets, and they all add value to the whole. And when I just sort of think about what we add as a management group, I mean, I'm more of a heart, emotions-driven leader, and Amy Jean is more of a head leader. So she's more logical, more detailed, really loves planning. I'm okay with planning, but it's not my forte. I'm a much more bigger picture person and much more intuitive. But I find that our strengths really work well, and we compromise each other's skill sets. The same sort of thing can be said for our team members. We have some team members that are facts and plans people, some that are emotion and feelings people, some that offer that humorous element to the team. Others are the glue in the team. Others are a bit more conflict driven. But as Shelley pointed out, conflict is a good thing. We really try and embrace that and work through it, because that's the only way we're going to get better is by continually challenging ourselves. Some learn by doing, some learn by watching, and some learn by writing stuff down or listening. So we need to understand how each other ticks so that we can communicate with each other in the best possible way we can to get the best results that we want. That's pretty straightforward so far. So we have a diverse group, but what connects us? This is where the fun starts. So we start by building our shared vision. So at the start of every season, I take the team away to some undisclosed venue. We take them away from their daily routine, and it's not necessarily a 5-star resort. We'll either go camping, or this year we went and stayed at a motor camp at Papamoa. But it's just basically about getting away from the daily distractions and just really connecting with each other and sorting out and going through those things like, what's our shared vision? What do we collectively want as a group? Now I've done my vision and said this is what we're going to do, and this year I've done the shared vision, and it takes a little more time, but I think that the way that the vision is embraced by everyone, everybody has input, and it really sets us on a common path and with common goals, and we sort of, we head off into the sunset together. So we share our goals. It's a process, actually a little bit similar to what we did up here earlier this evening. We start big, and then we've drilled down, and we own that stuff. We also talk about and work on our behaviours, what behaviours are important to us, because that really shapes who we are as a team. And that accountability and that willingness to embrace conflict is really a part of that process too. So we spent a lot of time, with young women. It's really quite difficult. They don't want to offend anybody. They want to be liked. They don't want to rustle feathers or anything like that. So it's teaching them that conflict is a good thing, because once we can bring heads together, really have constructive conflict and constructive dialogue and really work it all through and work it out, then we come to a common place and a common understanding, and then we can drive forward. So shared vision, shared goals, agreed behaviours. It's also about sharing, coming up with shared values too, and we all go and approach a team with different values, different beliefs, as I've talked about, but we have to come to some agreed and common values. And the important thing is that we live those values daily, not just on the netball court, but off the netball court, not just as a team, but individually as well. So when we're away from the netball court and we play our role outside of the court, it's really important that we still live the values that we think are important, that define us, because it just ain't going to work. You can't be one person off the netball court and out of the netball environment and be somebody else in it. You're just not true to yourself. You're not being you, and it's very transparent. People will see that. They'll see you as being disingenuous, and you won't be accepted by the team. So we had a 4-week boxing block, and that was pretty confrontational, literally. For many of them, they'd never done it before. And actually, this was literal conflict, as well as that social and emotional conflict too, because being hit by somebody for them was quite a difficult thing to get through. But it's all about learning and growing, and neuroplasticity is another word for you, and pushing your boundaries, pushing those comfort zones out, because that's how you grow, that's how you get better. And for a high performance environment, we need to get there as quickly as possible. So we're doing all of this, but in quite a high pressure, and as you would have seen in the media lately, a very public environment. So the other thing that's important to us is sharing common language, sharing common themes. You'll see we all wear a uniform, so that keeps us connected and keeps us together. We have common symbols. The music we play is selected so that it reflects us. The photos we take and publish reflect us. So everything we see, do, hear, touch, speak about reflects who we are, what we stand for, what's important to us. And as you can see, their touch is really an important part of us being connected. So we tag and we touch and we hug, and we're very demonstrative, but it's a really important part of connecting. Absolutely. Simple as that. So sitting underneath all of that, when we go away and have our team camp, every year I do this, I sit the athletes down, they're not athletes, sit my people down, and I ask them, why are you here? Why are you playing netball? Why do you do what you do? And for some of them, they've never actually asked themselves that question. If you lead a busy life, or that's not something that's part of what you normally do, then you just cruise on through life and you do things because that's what you've always done, or that's what your parents want you to do, or you're good at it and you just thought you'd go in that direction because other people thought you were good. But it's really important to stop and think and contemplate and figure out for yourself, what is it that you want to do, why are you here? And then what I get them to do is they think about, and then they write it down and they present it a personal philosophy. So what do you believe in? What are your values? what sort of person you want to be. How are you going to get to be that kind of person? So they think about that, and then they have to present that to the group. And the reason I do that is because it's really important. We can only connect and build as a team if we understand who we are. So this is about self-awareness. And once you get to understand who you are, and I'm sort of speaking the same language with Shane here, he's nodding his head, but once you get to understand who you are and what makes you tick, then you can start to understand how to relate to other people. So that once you love yourself first, then you can start to love other people. So that's a part of what we do as well. And that deeper understanding of our teammates helps us connect better. It helps us empathise with each other better. It helps us support each other. We trust each other, and trust is the foundation of a successful team. If we do not trust each other, if we do not trust that we can do our job, if we can't trust that the environment that we're in is safe, then we can't learn and we can't go forward and we can't perform. It's a really important pillar, really important foundation for us. So our differences and our strengths and our weaknesses and our diversity shape our identity, and they enrich the experiences of the team. But our commonness and the things that we share shape what we aim for and how we want to behave. So they're both really important. And when all this lines up, we have a great chance of achieving our team's goals, and you know what, we have a lot of fun along the way. And that's when it's magic. So I ask you, what's your purpose? And how can you work with diversity to make a bigger impact in your world? So thanks for listening, and I've really enjoyed sharing tonight, so thank you very much.